What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog back with another Giants video. And in this video, I want to talk about an article I read, how Peter King blames 4 people for the Giants' dumpster fire of a season. Obviously, there is a lot more people than 4 that have to do with this. It's a 53-man team. The front office has done terrible. The ownership's done terrible. So obviously, it's not just these 4 people that Peter King mentions, but they are the main culprits. And while the Giants are 1-6 this year and continue to flounder, can't close out games, and ultimately are in last place in the worst division in football. The first and foremost, Peter King mentions Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is obviously responsible for a terrible season. He's got 3 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. In Daniel Jones' career, he's had 19 starts. He has either fumbled or thrown an interception or both in every single game. He has fumbled 21 times in his career, had 18 interceptions. He's lost 13 of those fumbles. So he's turned the ball over 31 times in 19 starts. You're not going to win many games when your quarterback's doing that. So you guys can defend him all you want, but the fact of the matter is he continues to turn it over. And Peter King believes that he is one of the main culprits in why the Giants are so poor this year. And it's hard to argue that. He's played poorly. He did play better against the Eagles. Hopefully that's encouraging. Hopefully he can turn it around. But there's no questioning about it, man. Can't keep turning the ball over the way he does and expect to win games. That's just a fact. You cannot lose a turnover battle every single week, think you're going to win football games, especially when you don't have a ton of talent here. That's just the way it goes. The next guy that he blames is Joe Judge. He says that the team is very undisciplined and obviously they don't execute very well. Too many penalties, too many turnovers. You can blame this on Joe Judge. This is the one I disagree with Peter King on because, I mean, when I look at a coach, I don't know how well a coach can make a player execute. Obviously, you continue to practice. You try to make them better at stuff. You try to drill stuff into their head. But at the end of the day, if the player can't execute, player can't execute. If the player is throwing interceptions or they don't hang on to the ball and they fumble, I mean, I don't know how that's Joe Judge's fault. I don't know how that's, any coach's fault. If the players are in the wrong spot or the players aren't trying or there's really stupid calls, like I don't know, throwing a deep pass on 3rd down and short, or running the ball on 3rd down and 17 with 5 minutes, like Pat Shermer last year when he didn't go for it on 4th and 2, then he went for it on 4th and 17, like that type of stuff. Okay, I could get on Joe Judge's case if he's coaching like that, but I haven't seen that. I don't know how much of this is coaching and how much of it is just lack of talent and lack of execution on these players. Now, yes, coach is supposed to get these guys in order, and they're not supposed to commit the penalties. The Giants are actually very good at the beginning of the year of not committing penalties. You saw the last few weeks they've had a multitude of penalties. Now, part of this, to me, is because the defense is very tired at the end of the game, and they're just grabbing. That's just what it is. I think they're tired because the offense hasn't really produced and hasn't owned time of possession, and these guys are grabbing their opponents. So they're getting beat deep. We saw that in Philadelphia. We saw it in Dallas. So I think that's part of it, but he does blame Joe Judge, and obviously the head coach does shoulder some responsibility for a team that's 1-6. I'm not going to get on his case too bad, but I understand Peter King. I don't agree with him, but I do understand him. The next one is Evan Ingram. Pretty much says Evan Ingram has been the ultimate tease since he got here. I think Giants fans can agree with that. Evan Ingram obviously has a world of athleticism. I'm not even going to call it talent at this point. He has athleticism. He ran a 4.42 40. He's 6'2", 235. He could play, wide receiver if he could catch, but he can't catch. He can't catch. He can't block. He can't do a lot of things for the New York Giants. All you're looking at is his 40 times vertical leap. Again, that's why I always felt the combine's overrated. Nobody gives a damn. If you can't catch the ball, who cares how fast you can run? Who cares how high you can jump? If you can't catch the ball, if you can't hang on to the ball, if you can't produce, your 40 time don't mean anything. Look at John Ross. People blow up about John Ross. John Ross has been terrible. Tavon Austin was terrible in the NFL. He ran a 4.3 40. Whoop-de-doo. How about Darius Hayward-Bay? You can go down a list of speed demons that never succeeded at the NFL level because, again, at the end of the day, your 40 time means nothing if you can't catch or get open. So who cares about a 40 time? Who cares about a vertical leap? Obviously, athleticism isn't everything in the NFL. Execution is more important than athleticism when it comes to an NFL football player. Evan Ingram has been the ultimate tease. Peter King says they would not give him a second contract and that the Giants should do every single thing in their power to move this guy and get something in return for him. I completely agree. Do not re-sign Evan Ingram. The Giants should not give this guy any money. Trade him now. Get what you can. Even if it's a 5th-round pick, whatever. Just get what you can for the guy. Let him walk. He saved his biggest criticism for Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas has been an absolute disaster. And when I say disaster, when I looked at these numbers, I mean, we're talking disaster of epic proportions. I don't really go based on PFF. I don't really care about that. But the stat on PFF was there was 101 tackles in the league that played at least 10 snaps a game, I believe. Maybe it's just 10 snaps total. It didn't really say there. But none of these tackles in the NFL have allowed more than 25 pressures except for one, and that is Andrew Thomas. He's allowed 37 pressures. Okay, so that's a combination of hurries, which he's allowed 27, hits, which he's allowed 4, and sacks, which he's allowed 6. He's allowed 37 pressures in 7 games. That is god-awful. And you wonder why Daniel Jones is struggling. Well, that certainly does not help. But people could talk about the lack of wide receivers, the lack of talent that Evan Ingham can't catch. But the fact of the matter is, your blindside protector is that poor and that awful, and your quarterback has no time. Well, that's because your left side, your blindside protector has been just an absolute train wreck. And the biggest problem with Andrew Thomas, I mentioned this in the live stream I did the other night, Andrew Thomas does not plant his right foot in the ground. If you watch Andrew Thomas getting beat inside, he continues to pick his right leg up. He's got really bad hand placement. He's very slow, and he's very weak. This is what Peter King was saying. Is it possible that he's weak and he has no technique? Well, it seems to be that way. I don't think Andrew Thomas is weak, but when you're lifting up a leg, you're losing all your leverage, and you ain't going to win any battle that way. I could push him over if he was on one leg, okay, and he outweighs me by about 150 pounds, but if you have no balance and no leverage, you're going to get killed, and that's exactly what's going on with Andrew Thomas. So let's just, and here's another stat which I found pretty amazing. The combination of Wills, Wirfs, and Becton, right? The 3 other guys that talked about going to the Giants, the other 3 really good tackles in the draft, combined have given up 27 pressures and 5 sacks. That's the 3 of them combined. Andrew Thomas has given up 37 pressures and 6 sacks by himself. That is historically poor. So I don't want to hear about, well, he's a rookie. Well, he's going against good competition. Yeah, okay. So is Wills, Wirfs, and Becton. And they've allowed 10 less pressures between the 3 of them and 1 less sack than Andrew Thomas. Okay? These guys need to get better. Evan Ingham can find his way out of here. That's not a problem. The fact of the matter is the Giants are stuck with Andrew Thomas for a while. They might have to look and try to move him to the right side. Maybe move him to guard. It worked for Eric Flowers. Eric Flowers was a terrible tackle. We saw that. We tried him at right tackle. He was really bad there. They were the Redskins last year. When they moved him to left guard, he played much better. He got himself a 3-year, $30 million deal with Miami, I believe, and I haven't heard anything bad about Eric Flowers. So just a change of position certainly helped, and it helped Justin Pugh. He was a right tackle. He's a bad right tackle. They moved him to right guard. He was much better. So maybe Andrew Thomas needs to try to play guard. I really don't know, but he has been god-awful. So I thought that was very interesting. I mean, you guys can let me know. Do you have 4 people that you think are responsible for the Giants 1-6? Do you agree with the 4 people that Peter King mentioned? Or, like I said, do you think that Peter King's being hard on these guys? Either way, I thought it was an interesting article, and I wanted to share it with you. So I hope you guys will like and subscribe if you made it this far. Of course, always leave your comments. I always look forward to reading them. And until next time, guys, it's a bad diggity dizzle, and I am gone. Peace!